make sure you spell your last name for me. So go ahead and just tell me your name, spell it, and then we'll start with a more formal introduction.
Sure. So my name is Chris Ralston, R-A-L-S-T-O-N. I'm an assistant professor at Grinnell College in the Department of Psychology.
Yeah, give me all that stuff. So how you might try to appear, et cetera, et cetera. So start off again with an introduction as if you're introducing yourself to the viewer, and lead right into why or how you've been mostly using Salon.
Okay. So hello, my name is Chris Ralston. I'm an assistant professor at Grinnell College in the Department of Psychology. I've used Salon for many different things, which is why I think the best way to describe it is that it has a lot of potential. I've used it anywhere from crowdsourcing and understanding of material for study guides. I've used it for ways to workshop and revise papers among students, to helping students to develop a critical understanding of the research process related to psychology. And really, I think maybe one of the benefits of using that is to assist students with not only developing the critical thinking skills, but also metacognitive skills, with being able to see how other people think about a particular passage or a particular design or a particular idea. Because it's one thing to be able to have one's own idea and think critically, but it's another thing to also see how other people think about the issue or idea. And I think that's one of the biggest values of Classroom Salon.
Excellent. What are the types of classes you usually teach? I think a big thing is a lot of people come into this as they learn about it and they think, will this apply to the type of class I'm teaching? So talk for a moment about that.
All right, well, I've used Salon in 3 different classes. The first is an Introduction to Psychology class that also has a laboratory component, so it's a 6-hour-a-week sort of class in which half of it is devoted to kind of more traditional sorts of class time behavior and the other is devoted to lab. And so I've used that primarily as a way to prepare students for deepening the conversation within class, reviewing the documents outside, interacting, starting a conversation, and then bringing it in. I've used it for an abnormal psychology class in which I use primarily the video tool to help students to see how the research that we've been looking at is reflected in real-life examples. And I also think that the students also gain a sense of appreciation for kind of the human experience by viewing videos and interacting around how what we've been reading is really playing out in this one particular person's life. The third type of class that I've used is what we call a freshman tutorial, which is our only required course at Grinnell College. It focuses on many things from critical thinking to maybe more basically writing, college-level writing, and preparing students to succeed that way. And so for that, I've used the Salon to help students to work collaboratively on developing each other's writing skills, to help each other develop as quality writers.
So a very large class and a smaller class.
Yeah, in my abnormal psychology class I have 52 students, and then in my tutorial 12 students, so kind of a wide range.
Great. Well, 2 last questions, and it's one question together. So if you could talk for a minute about where Salon really helped you, or something it did really well, and something where you wish, something like Guna said, something you still wish it could do, or where is it still maybe not quite done?
I think where it really helps is that in many instances in the past, I would spend maybe the first 10-15 minutes really trying to gauge kind of a standard understanding of a text or reading, that before we got into and launched into a discussion that may be more meaningful. And so with Classroom Salon, I feel that we can bypass a lot of that. You know, by reviewing the comments, by seeing how the discussion is developed, I have a greater understanding of where students do understand the text, where they maybe don't understand, or where they have questions, and then we can kind of go more for the more meaningful, deeper type of conversation and learning in the class. So I think it's a real time saver that way. In terms of things that could be improved, I think by and large there are many things that have the potential to be tweaked. Certainly there's some user interface sorts of things. I think what I like and I would like to see developed a little bit more is the idea of using analytics to understand kind of depth of contribution, because it's one thing to be able to contribute by saying, oh, I agree with this or I don't agree with this, but it's another thing to say, okay, well, I agree with this in part because of X, Y, and Z. And so to really kind of get at the thinking component and how we might be able to kind of understand that a little bit better using our analytics to save some amount of time when looking back through the students' work.
Awesome. So maybe think about that for a future interview, or other conversations, other ways to visualize that information, or what other deeper information do you want to get at, because that's, you're speaking Grinnell's language there, obviously. So that's the stuff he wants to
Yeah.
improve on. Well, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you so much. Do you know how to go back to...
I do, and I will